All right, welcome to my daily review. My disclaimer is we're all big boys and girls, so do your own due diligence. I don't recommend buy, sell, or hold any stock or equity. You're looking right here at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and I got more aggressive in the market because of the market internals, but it's hard to be really aggressive with the Nasdaq still trading just about 1.9% below its 200 simple moving average, a downtrending 200 simple moving average. But you can see here it's been about it's going on 4 months now where it can't, the bears can't push this thing any lower, and so we'll see what happens as it approaches the 200. Is it going to stall here, get rejected, and trade back down and retest this lows, or is it going to power through? I would be more bullish if it could get above, 11,571, because you can see that it stopped making the lower lows and is now making higher lows. And we needed to start making higher highs here above the 11,571. I would even take, what the heck, 11,492, anywhere in there. Let's just do it. Get through the 200 is what I'm looking at to become more aggressive. Speaking of the 200 simple moving average, we had the S&P 500 index. We talked about how it's in a trade range, and it needs to break above this trade range here of 4,100 for me to get more bullish, but it did make that move today above the 200 simple moving average. So that looks real good as well. Oh, I wanted to make one more point on the Nasdaq, as people were hound dogging me about the volume on Friday, because as options expiration date, the OPEX on last Friday, and that's what juiced the market. But today is a Monday, really a boring Monday, and it's got massive volume here. So investors are coming back into the market, evidenced by this the blue volume bars. Whenever the Nasdaq's up, you can count on these stocks being up. The fangs. Here's Apple trying to come off that low of 124 here. It looks like it's got a lot of work to do. Earnings February 2nd. Here's Microsoft, had a decent day today. They have earnings tomorrow, so we'll see what they have to say. But anytime these FANG stocks are moving, boy, NVIDIA went above that 187.90 today. Good job. That looks real good. And then Tesla's like 40% off its low of 101 here. So Tesla's moving out. It's got some work to do too, but the FANGs definitely look good and driving the Nasdaq and the Qs higher. I want to take a look at some oil stocks just because they've been leaders. You can see this is Tidewater, an oil and gas field services stock. This one made a new high today, ho-hum. It's just been kind of trending along its 10 EMA and looking strong. This is 9. This one pulled back to its 21 here today and actually closed below it. So don't get trapped here. We'll see what happens. But it's been a strong stock. This, looks like it has been supported here before, and it closed, 1% below the 21. So something to watch here. It's been finding support. We'll see what happens. Another one that I like in the oil and gas, this is in the refining space, though, is Valero. And you can see this one with the cup with the handle and just trying to break out above that. You can see it on the weekly a little better. Yeah. Anyway, that's the FANG. That's the oil and gas. I got to move on. I'm trying to keep these videos below 10 minutes so the IT guys don't get mad at me, but I'm failing miserably. This is a ACLS. I mean, the semiconductor stocks, you just, throw a dart at the wall and it sticks and you hit a winner here today. This one was up nearly 5%. I think RMBS was another one that was, making new highs here. Looking good. PI, this one had earnings right here. It gapped up on earnings and just kind of traded sideways. Then had another strong earnings report, had a muted response, and then it gapped up higher and then pulled back. And now today, this thing's really, it's going higher, but it's really an erratic stock here. Not trading tightly at all. And you can see today it closed in the bottom half of its daily range. So very difficult stock to trade, I think, but if you're holding it, it's doing well for you. AEHR, this is one that's just a really small market cap stock, micro. It's almost up to $1 billion now, 956 million. They signed that contract last Friday for what, 25 million. They made the announcement. Traded higher, 14% on Friday, almost 15%, and today tacked on another 8%. So that's those are strong gains. And the that group is looking good. I could just go through all the semis. Somebody pointed out to me that AMAT isn't it. This base and LSCC. I mean, there's just a lot of them setting up or moving out. So I'm not going to go through all of them. AMD is another one with NVIDIA. They're reporting earnings on the 31st, and which is next week. And it looks like it's forming this bottoming pattern here, and above 79.23 looks good, and even above the 200 looks even better. I want to talk a little bit about the biotech stocks. I'm going to try to be quick with this. Obviously, Catalyst had a bad day, down 29%. And this is why folks do not like trading biotech stocks, because you wake up and you're down 30% one day. That's a nice punch to the gut. But it closed at 1476, and you can see that takes you back to, August numbers, which kind of stinks. But this is all about your time horizon. If you bought here at 8, and, you're holding and you're on massive gains, you're fine. This thing's up 170% in the last year. So that's what I'm talking about, your time horizon. For me as a trader, I bought at 1660 and I sold today. Just took the loss because there's opportunity cost with, holding a stock here and waiting for this litigation. Teva Pharmaceuticals sent them a letter that they're going to challenge their drug and make a generic drug, which will eat into their revenues. So the CEO from Catalyst did come out immediately and say they're going to defend their patent, but who wants to wait around for litigation? I don't. I know myself. Like I say, if you know yourself and you're going to hold this thing for a long time and you have belief and conviction that they're going to do well, then, today's still 30% down. That's a big loss, but, I understand both ways, long-term holders and, but this is a growth stock. When growth stocks stop growing, they get haircuts like this. So anyway, that's why people buy XBI, because you don't have big haircuts like this. Of course, it did sell off after the COVID ramp. It had this massive sell-off, but that was over a long period of time. This is not going to go down 30% in a morning. So too bad for the CPRX longs like me. I allowed a gain to turn into a loss, but that's the way it goes in the biotech land. This is Revance. They make a Botox competitor, and that's what this big run up was. Right here, yeah, they had the announcement of the approval, then it made this base, and then went higher. I was going to put this on our watch list today, but this got away from me, and I'm certainly not going to chase. Somebody asked me about PLRX and pre-market today is up 85%. Should I chase it? I don't chase stocks up 85%. That you kind of missed the move at that point. I mean, sure, it could go up 185%, but I'm going to take my chances. And today it proved out to be correct here as it closed at 5% of the daily range here on the lower end. So it's still a nice gain, 34% gain on. The volume was massive, over 3,000% above average daily volume. So that's still a great day. TGTX is another one that I like in this space. They have a drug approval, and that's what this ramp was about. And then it just pulled back to its 10. And then the last couple of days, it's been trending higher. So you got to like a stock that's trending along its 10 EMA, like CPRX, until it didn't. It happens. Here's a NVO. This is one with the Wegovy drug that is a weight loss drug, and they can't keep it in stock. It's got huge demand. Made another new high today, so that stock looks good. And the next theme that I'm going to after FANG, oil, semis, biotech is retail. I'm going to my favorite stock, CROX. This is a growth at a reasonable price stock. This is not hellaciously overvalued. It's got a PE of like 12. You don't buy growth stocks for PE, but this one has tons of revenue growth, and it just pulled back to its 10 today. I was listening to Scott St. Clair this morning. He was talking about fundamentals versus technicals, and he's saying it's 70-30 fundamentals. I'd have to agree with that. So you really have to know, the fundamentals of the company. The stock's not going to go up just because of the chart. It needs some fundamental growth. And I think CROX has proven that it's going to grow with their Hey Dude acquisition. So that's why you need to dig into these companies and find out where the future growth is. Past growth does not matter. It's future growth. This is ON Holdings. ON is a ticker. You can see this is forming a nice little bottoming pattern in the stage 1 base. So this appeals to me. Obviously, it's a shoe company, so I like that. I've seen a lot of them in the wild here at the gym and just around town. People love them. Everybody that I talk to, I don't own a pair, but I do like this stock here, and it's still at a buy point on our watch list. Skechers is another one in the shoe category. I should just say not even retail, just shoes today. This one gapped higher out of a base, and this one looks good to me. And yeah, Skechers is another one of those ones, growth at a reasonable price. 7 billion market cap for about 7 billion in sales. So one-time sales. This is not an expensive stock. Here is Deckers. They make the Uggs, and this one has earnings February 3rd, made a new high today. That's why it was on the list. Yeah, made a new high. Anyway, Deckers looks good. There's a lot of retail I can go through, restaurants, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just go through a couple of random stocks now, random walk through the stock market. This is a AXON. This is the old Taser security safety stock. I think right here down to the pool down to the 10 EMA was a buy, and it also has a standard buy point there at 193. If you're interested in that one, I'm a cheater. I like to buy early. The same with Uber here when it pulled back to the 10, but this is setting up again in a stage 1 base. You can see the base on base pattern for Uber. This is another one that has, a lot of sales. It doesn't have the earnings yet, but sales ahead of earnings, and it's trading about 2 times sales. So Uber's definitely one to watch. Plexus is in that group, which with the Sanminas and the Jabil, and this one's just forming a little flat base here. And I like that setup as well. It made a new high today and then pulled back a little bit. ALGM, I should have covered this with the semiconductors, but I didn't. I want to put this on my watch list here as it's forming this base. And I'm looking for this one to break out. Had a nice day today, 3% move. And they have earnings on January 31st as well. MEDP, this is one that we had on our watch list, but it's kind of gone here a little bit, and I'm not going to chase that. Up 5% today. Good move. Congrats to the longs. And the last one is United Rentals. And this is just a stock. Got to look at the weekly charts on these. Still in this base here, flattening out. Looks good to me. 3 weeks tight here. It looks like it's going to make another 3 weeks tight. You don't want too many 3 weeks tight patterns in a row. But URI looks good. They have earnings Wednesday. Anyway, that's it for today. I don't know if I made it in 10 minutes. We'll see. We'll see you tomorrow.